No, it's not revenge trading. It has nothing to do with risk management, has nothing to do with psychology, or even having an edge. The answer is going to shock you. So the number one thing that kept me unprofitable is not backtesting. Yes, okay? I'm going to explain to you guys why backtesting is so important. Because backtesting it doesn't really serve one purpose. It's multiple reasons why you have to backtest. Okay, number one, when you backtest, you put in reps, and we all know that reps is literally one of the best things you can do. Kyrie Irving didn't become Kyrie Irving because he played pickup ball. How many times you play pickup ball and it was a scrub, right? Every single time you come to the court, it's always like this, multiple scrubs, but it's like this one person, right? And that person comes like every week, and maybe he's shooting air balls. He don't understand, what's really going on. He's hurting the team. So coming to the game, okay, and playing the game, that doesn't do anything for you. Kyrie Irving became Kyrie Irving because he actually practiced, put in the reps. So he did a lot of practicing on a conscious level. He put in the reps. Just because you show up to the game doesn't mean that you have skills. So it's what you do behind the scenes, what you do every single day, how many reps you put in, right? That's really going to make you or break you. And that's what separates, the great from the average. Talent, believe it or not, is not enough. Talent could get you in the door, but it's not going to help you stay to the next level or get to the next level. In order to get to the next level, you're going to have to put in those reps, and that's what backtesting is doing. It's helping you put in those reps every single day, because talent is not going to get you that far. Okay, you see it all the time. You see people online or on TV, and you look at that person like, yo, I know I'm smarter than that person. How come that person is successful? I almost guarantee you, behind the scenes, that person putting a lot of reps, a lot of work in. Okay, so backtesting, it would literally help you put in those reps. And I used to backtest like crazy. I told you guys, my story. I used to take my laptop to work. On my lunch break, backtest. I used to take the bus and train, so on the back of the bus, I'm opening up my laptop. On the train, I'm opening up my laptop. I put in those reps, okay? So that's one thing when it comes to backtesting. Another thing why backtesting is so special is because it's collecting data. Guys, data is so powerful, okay? I told you guys before, the biggest companies in the world, what they have in common is they have data. Why do you think Microsoft wanted to buy Discord? It's not because it looked pretty, no. It's because it has a lot of data, a lot of people. What can you do with that data? Well, you can do a lot of things with the data, right? You can predict behaviors, right? You can predict a lot of stuff. You can even sell data. There's so many things you can do with that, right? Google bought YouTube, I think in 2006, because they saw a lot of people was coming on that platform, right? So that's a lot of data. Boom, you snatch that up. Data is a big business. What do you think Chat GPT is? It's just a whole bunch of data into one system, right? It is spitting out data, that's it. So it can predict things, it can tell you things like that. So when you are backtesting and you collecting data, it's gonna help you predict, right, the future. Is it gonna be right all the time? No, but it's gonna help you predict patterns. It's gonna help you predict a lot of stuff because you're collecting data. So when you collect the data, it's gonna help you predict. Also, it's gonna help you have a very specific strategy, and it's gonna be very clear because you have enough data to make your strategy very specific and this laser clear, right? Super, super clear. And that's what backtesting is gonna help you. The next thing that backtesting is gonna do, it's gonna help you with your confidence. The reason why it's gonna help you with your confidence is because you know more, right? Imagine you about to take a test and you didn't study for the test at all. Are you gonna have enough confidence when you take that test? No, because you didn't study. Same thing with backtesting. Backtesting is like studying, okay? The more you study, the more your confidence is gonna grow and grow and grow. It's just how it works, okay? So it's gonna help you build your confidence, period. Trust me on this one. And the last thing is gonna basically make you prepared. Most people are not prepared when they open up their laptop and trade the market, right? They are, they have a half system, they have a system where it's okay, but it's not there yet, right? It's not there yet. It's not very clear. It's not specific. They don't have all the pieces put together. And I'm quite sure because they didn't backtest. And just because you learn a system online doesn't mean that you don't have to backtest it, right? Just because you saw a video and someone gave you a system, well, that doesn't mean anything, guys. You still have to backtest that system, get familiar with it, right? And the last thing, guys, with this one, I just thought about this, is backtesting is gonna help you develop skills. Just what it is, right? And it's gonna be a skill that it's gonna help you pay dividends. It's gonna help you, you can literally have this skill for life and you can make money, right? With this skill. It's gonna help you develop your trading skills and you're gonna be a way better trader just by backtesting. So in my opinion, the way I look at backtesting is like literally hitting the gym, practicing. So I'm telling you right now, that's the one thing that really kept me unprofitable. I didn't backtest a lot of systems that I learned online. I just went to system, to another system, to the next system, to the next system, right? And when you backtest, when you're collecting all this data, another thing is going to help you troubleshoot a lot of problems, right? Much quicker. Because you can say, okay, well, it seems like 60% of the time, every time I trade this way, I'm winning, okay? And 90% of the times when I trade this way, I'm losing. Well, I gotta stop doing this. That's because you're collecting data, you're backtesting, you're doing all this different stuff. So that's gonna help you guys, okay? When it comes to profitable trading, right? And that definitely kept me unprofitable. Now, of course, there isn't just one thing, okay? So let's talk about the other things that kept me unprofitable. And I think I'm probably gonna name maybe 2 or 3 more, okay? Next one is the one big loss. Yep, the one big loss, right? We all go through this. We had this one loss that will either wipe out weeks of profits or months of profits, right? So this one big loss is literally, okay, a big reason why I, sucked for a long time. I wasn't profitable, for years because having that one big loss. So be careful, because if you really look at your losers, there's always that one that sticks out, right? That one loser that sticks out. And a lot of times the reason why you're not profitable because you have that one big loser, right? And a lot of times it don't have to be your trading system. It literally could be that one big loss. That's the reason why you're not profitable. It has nothing to do with your strategy at all. Because we all know that if you have a big loser, that has nothing to do with strategy. That's you going on tilt, right? Risking too much or moving your stop loss or doing something that's not even a part of your system. So a lot of times the reason why we are not profitable has nothing to do with strategy. It just has to do with you having that one big loser. And you just go, I guarantee you, go look at your losers. You're gonna look at them like, man, that loser right there, like, why? Like, so imagine if you just had, tiny losers, then winners, tiny losers, and winners. Your account is gonna be an uptrend, okay? So make sure you fix that problem. Now, the next one that kept me unprofitable was the know-it-all disease, right? This is something that you get when you're on a winning streak, right? That's why winning streaks are very, very dangerous. Because when you're on a winning streak, you think you know it all, you get too cocky, and you say, you know what? You be telling yourself, oh, I know the market is going to go up, or I know this is going to happen, right? You start to say these, those type of words, and you got to be careful with that. Be careful with saying, oh, I know that's going to happen, because now you have a bias, and that bias is so strong to the point where you are going to get married to that bias, and then you're going to say, oh, the market can't go down, and you're going to keep buying. Oh, the market can't go down, you keep buying, and then you're losing. So being a know-it-all is a dangerous thing when it comes to trading. Okay, we don't know nothing. Even the next trade that you take, you don't know if there's going to be a winner. You don't know if it's going to be a loser. right? So be careful of winning streaks. I'm telling you right now, a winning streak will make you delusional. It will make you think you really got it all figured out, or you know it all, or you're unstoppable. Because the way I look at winning streaks is like, man, I know that losing streak is coming around the corner, right? Or, I might mess up, so I have to be careful. Because usually winning streaks, you might size up a lot because you're winning. How many times, right? And I'm quite sure most of you guys been through this. How many times you went to a winning streak, let's say 1 week winning streak, 2 week winning streak, and that same day you decide to size up. It's like the market knows when you're about to size up. Boom, you size up, and that's the day you lose. Like, yo, I was profitable for like 14 days straight. The day I decide to size up, that's the day that the market takes my money, right? And then mess with you. So be careful when it comes to the winning streaks. It will literally make you delusional. So this is definitely one of the things that kept me unprofitable for a long time, because I think a lot of human beings, we make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes we learn from the mistakes, but sometimes we don't. We don't learn right away. Sometimes we got to get burned 1,000 times before we say, okay, I can't keep on doing this, right? Some people learn right away, but I think majority of human beings, we have to get smacked a couple of times before we say, okay, I got to stop making that mistake, right? How many times you made the same mistake over and over and over? But it's going to come to a time where you're going to realize, like, I can't keep doing this. Like, this is holding me back, but unfortunately, human beings, we have to get smacked 1,000 times, not really 1,000 times, but a lot of times before we learn, like, okay, I got to stop doing this, right? So just be careful, again, when it comes to just knowing it all, right? Now, the last thing that kept me unprofitable, guys, is definitely market structure. The way I looked at direction when I first started out was the moving average. Every time the market was above the 20 moving average, I thought it was a bullish market, or if it went below the moving average, I thought it was a bearish market. And if you really study the market doesn't work that way, okay? Because you can actually have a range, right? And the market might be above the moving average in that range, but you still have resistance up top. So even if you buy, boom, you're hitting that resistance. So you have to be really, really careful just using a moving average for your direction. Make sure you know how to read structure. It's very important. I told you guys before that I don't care what strategy you have or what risk management strategy you have. I don't care if you the best entry guy, but the direction is where it's at. That's the foundation. So study market structure, because me personally, I was using the moving average for market structure, and it didn't really get me anywhere. It kept me from just being unprofitable for a long time, okay? So that's all I have for you guys. You know what you do. But until then, make sure, guys, study, study, study. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's be profitable traders. And I'll talk to you guys later. Let's go.